This game was paid for by VexTests on Patreon. Recently, I played through Control with the help of some friends, and since it's a weird game, this is going to be a weird cast. Everything beyond this intro is written by my friends, and I'm reading it for the first time. The following is a completely accurate summary of the campaign. Trust them. We open with a very gray building, a very gray sidewalk, and a very gray interior, which is the only color I see anyways, and half of Team Rocket uses too many words, so we quickly lose interest until we notice just how bad her hair looks. Chunky highlights are so 90s. I surprise everyone by actually reading something that appears on screen and immediately come face to face with Colonel Sanders. This is the second best character in the game. Star-Lord offers us a job interview and begins mumbling at us in Finnish, but since half of Team Rocket has never finished, it goes over our heads. Also, Star-Lord reads half of Team Rocket's mind and she just doesn't acknowledge it. Okay. We take an elevator ride to the title card dimension for Neon Control Mind Fakelian, and half of Team Rocket begins rambling to herself about a child she's obsessed with, but it's okay because they're related and she's trying to save him from the piss dimension. We head into our job interview, and it turns out half of Team Rocket's resume was so bad the boss decided to kill himself, so we decide the best course of action after finding a crime scene is to finger the murder weapon.
You want me to pick it up? The murder weapon?
Yeah,
Really?
pick up the murder weapon. Step 1 in a murder investigation, put your fingerprints all over the gun. Now it's time to watch Colonel Sanders' first YouTube video. We like, comment, and subscribe because we aren't terrible people just like you, the person watching this video, right? It's not that I'm threatening you, it's just that my fingerprints are already on a murder weapon and I have nothing to lose. It's like, alright, in most government offices, you know, you either get like elected to government office or you get promoted up there. In this one, you put a gun to your head and if you don't die, congrats, you're the new director. Anyway, Colonel Sanders decided to pivot to shorts, so it's time to enter the Minecraft parkour dimension and get rewarded with a gun-shaped vibrator. While Charcuterie tries to turn us into the Winter Soldier and half of Team Rocket displays her horrible trigger discipline. We encounter the first of many Hideo Kojima Presents, a Hideo Kojima game Death Stranding references, and half of Team Rocket becomes wildly overstimulated and oops, clean up on aisle my pants because we just pissed ourselves. What? What is that in reference to? We listen to a tape recording and blow up a toilet before following the sound of the piss, which is blood red because I guess it's that time of the month. Suzanna wrote this one, so it's okay. We shoot our reanimated kidney stones until we can activate armor lock and plug the piss hole so it renders the rest of the level. You know, I'm so glad Neon Control Mind Fakelian decided to reference my favorite video game of all time, Halo Reach. Anyways, half of Team Rocket talks to Francis Keebler's Ring doorbell, and we're provided even more exposition where Francis Keebler calls the piss, and half of Team Rocket gets an unrelated idea to also call it the piss. We go Gadget Gravity a dead person and learn that we are not, in fact, the chosen one, but we don't care because fate or destiny or whatever doesn't matter when you have a fucking gun. The phone with one button won't stop ringing, so we go ahead and try to find it because nobody else is answering the damn thing and it keeps waking the baby. It's me. I'm the baby. We get overpowered by the piss before showing up to our new job in the mailroom, but then the title card dimension lets us know that our job was replaced by AI. But we're good workers and oppose automation stealing jobs, so we shoot everything that moves. And no, making people write a script for me is not automation because I made human beings do it. That's ethical laziness, thank you very much. Or in Arb's case, child labor. That was not in the script. We armor lock another pistol so it stops bleeding everywhere before we get a door open for us and Ultra Hand a save icon until we get sent back to the Minecraft parkour dimension and learn the force. So now it's forcing time and we force all over the place. I don't want a government job. Too bad! You won roulette! Nah!
I want to be a politician.
Tiramisu emerges from our walls, so we shoot him before calling him on the phone to ask him about his car's extended warranty. We rule of 3 a light bulb so we can check into a motel room, but it turns out we have to do a whole extra-dimensional escape room challenge just to get to the damn phone. We fail at the Minecraft parkour dimension and watch Colonel Sanders' informational video on phone sex, so half of Team Rocket gives the rotary a spin and it's apparently so effective that she gets a nosebleed. We take an elevator where we fantasize about Star-Lord before armor locking another piss hole. I just realized I'm looking over at my nightstand and the cup I was using for water is on my nightstand. The cup I picked up out of the dishwasher today is the cup Austin used to defrost a rat for his steak. That's the taste I'm tasting right now. Is rat. I'm gonna go pour this out and use the other cup. I really wish I was joking.
A rat?
I really wish I was joking.
Oh, poor Will.
We jump into Star-Lord's closet to make sure he's not into us before we offer to be his golden girl, but he isn't a fan of having his repressed sexual identity exposed before he's ready, so he demotes us from director to assistant janitor. But joke's on him, we want to clean up our own piss anyways.
This house has a vermin problem. A bad one. Yeah, you tell me, we'll just drink rat water.
We unlock an elevator and open a door so we can take our tasks into electrical, but we bump into Rami Malek before we blow up another toilet and close another piss hole. After playing catch with a bunch of batteries, we take an elevator to where half of Team Rocket suddenly unrenders, and we're left with a terrifying visage, making us wonder whether this is real life or if it's just fantasy. Caught on a landslide so powerful that we realize that this was the wrong fucking elevator, so we go back down and find another elevator, but this is also the wrong elevator. We know we're on the right track this time because we got another door open for us, and the kidney stones start rising again, so we armor lock another piss hole so hard that the building starts enjoying it a little bit too much, which I don't think should be possible considering that the building is non-Euclidean and thus cannot have an orgasm. We show off our circus chops by juggling some more batteries and shoot chemicals into the water that turn the frickin' rats gay, but Hulk's second cousin, once removed, tries to teach us a lesson, but we know how to throw things really well and get the better of him. After killing some kidney stones, we take an elevator, we take an elevator, we take an elevator, we take an elevator, and half of Team Rocket clips her gun-shaped vibrator into a flat texture, which opens the door to the twin towering trees, and half of Team Rocket trauma dumps about Thumb to Francis Keebler, and Francis Keebler forces us into an hour-long meeting, which totally could have been an email, but whatever, we're here and getting paid for it, right? We take an elevator and trash some kidney stones in order to make it to Colonel Sanders' apology video before getting jump-scared by our own assumptions.
I thought that was lost for a minute.
No.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You got some brain rot. A door to the Mexico dimension gets opened for us just before we rub our eyes and clean the honey from them and watch Colonel Sanders' second and third apology videos. We put a in time out and armor lock yet another piss hole, which lets us call fire safety professional because we clearly don't know how to use a fire extinguisher. Everybody knows that it's puff puff pass. It's not that complicated. We take an elevator and talk to fire safety professional who doesn't seem to understand their job description, and we close another piss hole and power up the quantum GameCube and ask fire safety professional if she knows anything about Thumb. And she knows all about him, but literally no one asks, so we decide to move on. Colonel Sanders drops his new merch line as we pass through the 2-star motel and ransack the furniture, which allows us to rule of 3 our way into a disco hallway that calls for us like a hawk to a flame. This is not the game.
I was about to say, are the lights supposed to be like that?
This is not correct.
Yo, what? I looked away for a minute reading into this. What LSD did you take?
We jump down an elevator shaft into another piss hole and talk to Rami Malek, but apparently the game is just as focused on an NPC conversation about rocks. We are completely distracted during Colonel Sanders' Outfit of the Day video because a nearby lamp seemed to be possessed, but it wasn't an exciting video anyway since Colonel Sanders always wears the same thing.
At what point does your gun that you use just completely become useless and you pull out a Luger?
That would definitely not work in the oldest house. That is
Right.
way too iconic of a pistol.
Oh shit, you're right, yeah.
You pull out a Luger, it just explodes.
So would an
Well.
effective weapon be a closed box of Lugers, and then when it opens, it's like a cluster bomb?
I think it would explode when you take it into the oldest house.
Just put a shipping label on it that's just labeled not Lugers.
What I'm hearing is I can't bring my shiny foil Charizard into the oldest house.
No.
Does it, like, explode more violently if it's more iconic?
I don't know. I don't think it says.
I just bring one of those monoblock plastic chairs in there and it becomes a nuclear bomb.
We take an elevator and talk to ourselves about how happy we are with all the horror we've encountered, which half of Team Rocket is only saying because combat hasn't had time to get repetitive yet. We run around opening up mystery boxes, but we're unable to find the legendary reverse foil Blue Eyes White Dragon that we need to complete our deck, so we blast a red ring of death and run back to another elevator. We open a door and jump down into a pit right into some more piss hole armor lock action and unminecraft the area before it's time to go through the parkour dimension formerly known as Minecraft, where we throw some batteries into a star chart so we can tell what astrological sign the wall is, but since it's Ophiuchus, we ignore it because having a 13th zodiac sign is stupid.
I assume y'all have seen the I love you bunny meme where the bunny says go fuck yourself.
No.
No.
What?
No.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All I'm saying is that meme would not burn up in this house.
Was that an old meme that I'm just not aware of?
I put the context what I'm yapping about in Casting Coach.
Ray, with all due respect, this has less than 5,000 views. Of course we've never heard of it.
It has that view?
Yeah.
I don't know how I haven't heard of that one.
Fire safety professional tells half of Team Rocket that Thumb was kidnapped from his home planet as a young boy to be entered in the Spartan program to... Oh, wait. Wrong script. We piss lock an armor hole and eat some medicinal wings before realizing that Thumb has breached the penis cell, which is also what happens to me whenever I use condoms as finger socks. Half of Team Rocket pulls the white man jump scare cord, which brings us back to our motel room, so we fidget spin a painting and pull the cord a few more times because we don't know the definition of insanity. We ask American Tom Scott for a tour of the facility, but he says no because it's covered in piss, and he exposits at us in a way that's nowhere near as fun to listen to as his British version. We enter the pansexual and get on an elevator and talk to a guy who's been tasked with the unfortunate responsibility of watching the atomic heart fuck fridge and on the verge of losing his mind from the sexual tension. Half of Team Rocket deletes the default blender cube, which causes a tear in the fabric of the universe to unravel into a gray void with concrete hallways. In other words, nothing has changed. We go to war with El Salvador and recover the default blender cube from the recycling bin, which takes us back to the Minecraft parkour dimension, where we turn on creative mode, but only for 2 seconds at a time so we aren't kicked by the mods, because flying is not enabled on this server. We look for Thumb in the butthole tunnel.
Really? That made you laugh?
I guess so. We look for Thumb in the butthole tunnel. Oh no.
Hey, bloopers!
We look for Thumb.
Why
in
is
the
this making you
butthole
laugh?
tunnel. I don't know. It's not even that good. We look for Thumb in the butthole tunnel and find a Mary Poppins reference, but we ignore it because it's stupid and not a thumb, even though it gives us the ability to wave dash just like thumbs do in real life. Now it's time for the Kill House shooting tutorial. This is 6 hours into the game, and the tutorial is being delivered by that kid in your 6th grade English class who always volunteers to read, despite having the literary flow of a snail that smoked a blunt and passed out in a puddle of syrup. After some more padding, we throw ourselves into the unsafe, so it can teach us how to make rocks take bullets for us like they did in the biblical days when Abraham parted the Adriatic Mediterranean.
What if she can throw blocks like that because the conservation of energy is too iconic of a feature of real life?
This joke is dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Red Ring of Death is back, so we throw some towels at it so we can talk to Francis Keebler about how Thumb got pissed on a bit too much. So we tell him not to tell him that it's our piss, because that would be piss-sassed. Also, Remy Malek starts shilling the new crypto coin and info-dumping about rocks for some reason. Francis Keebler starts talking about how Thumb is more in control, and half of Team Rocket talks in third person about how Thumb talks about Thumb in third person. Will doesn't do that. Will uses first person. But Will's using third person right now. Actually, it's even weirder than that, because I'm not the one who wrote that. So it's Will using third person to talk about Will written by someone else. So that's, what tense is that? Thumb starts giving a speech about his interest in intimate water sports and sends us to prison to fight more kidney stones, red rings of death, before encountering a pineapple-themed skylight that manages to be the only spot of vivid color in this game that isn't the disco hallway. I like how BoxBox said, "Neat thing I noticed, there's no American flags anywhere inside." Right as I looked over to read that. There's 2. You want to rethink that, BoxBox? We open a door, just kidding, we go back in Second Amendment a federal employee and enter the Lead Juice candidate program where we play Twister in the hallways and ransack an office and kill some more kidney stones and wait on an elevator. Ah,
Oh. Jump scare.
that actually scared me. Half of Team Rocket armor pisses the lock hole and puts on Thumb's clothes because it's laundry day and all of our stuff's in the washer. We hit a big red button, which leads us to a basement and another battery puzzle, and take another elevator and watch Colonel Sanders' Conspiracy podcast, and lock the piss and take a bigger elevator to Will Ferrell's basement to witness Bricksburg post-Craggle. We test the physics engine and watch Colonel Sanders crash out on his Twitch stream, and then half of Team Rocket goes through a metal detector to watch the Colonel's new children's show because he's collecting controversies like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We invade Star-Lord's Fortress of Solitude and channel our inner Mario 64 in order to summon him from a painting. Half of Team Rocket continues testing the physics engine and kills more kidney stones before taking a nice vacation to, oh, son of a bitch.
Let's go gambling.
I don't know if I like this place anymore.
Oh, dang it.
Ring the bell, rearrange the furniture, pull the light 3 times. This time we decided to skip the middleman and just throw ourselves down the elevator shaft. We take the Black Mesa Research Facility complimentary employee shuttle to Star-Lord, who asks us if we have the hiss in our sock before offering us his Zune loaded with Awesome Mix Volume 4. Half of Team Rocket is flung into a twisting hallway maze with combat sections and an actually interesting aesthetic while heavy metal music plays in the background. Holy shit, why wasn't the rest of the game like this? I should have gotten the aux 5 hours ago. That shit was wasted in Star-Lord's hands. This is not my actual opinion about this section of the game.
And?
I actually like the aesthetic of Control being brutalist, like simple concrete architecture, because that works really well with the contrast of everything being weird going on, where it's like very business corporate looking. Keep that in the fucking video. Yeah. Look, I complain about a lot of stuff. This is not one of them.
Do you know how much easier this would have been if this was a normal cast?
Yeah, it would have been a lot easier.
I would have gotten paid last week.
We find another quantum GameCube, which causes Colonel Sanders to start posting his considerable ass on his OnlyFans, and we destroy an Epcot ball because we were hired by Universal. It's now half of Team Rocket's job to disable the lasers pointed at the Epcot ball so we can follow the laws of aviation, but we get sent to the Forever box before we can finish, and now we have to start all over.
I love
Shaders are
being
not
able to
really
see.
working here. Okay.
Alright, where's the counter? We broke the game.
We send the Epcot ball back into the abyss while Team Rocket has a panic attack, which sends its dessert to the fate of being a poorly animated Fortnite emote. Game over. But then there's more. We wake up in hell, aka a paid internship, where half of Team Rocket has to pick up mail, clean up coffee mugs, and fax reports. Riveting. We pick up our boss's mail, and then Thumb shoots us. We wake up in hell too, Electric Boogaloo, aka an unpaid internship, where half of Team Rocket has to pick up mail, clean up coffee mugs, and fax reports. Riveting. We pick up our boss's mail and then shoot ourselves. We wake up in Hell 3, Quantum Boogalee, but we don't believe in the rule of 3, so we shoot our boss and get a phone call. Surprise, it's Colonel Sanders crying about how his precious Epcot ball got and how we need to report to KFC right now, so we stare at ourselves and go into an office where, god fucking damn it. Fuck this, I'm just gonna watch the Colonel get jiggy with it. Y'all way over-exaggerated how much I don't even think I hated the going to the hotel. I just thought it was a little repetitive.
I did, watching the footage.
Barb, just like, what if I was Willie also?
Yeah.
Fucking everything sucks!
Half of Team Rocket finds herself. That's it. She finds herself. And apparently this discovery and self-actualization is so profound that we find out that Thumb is manipulating the biz through some sort of fucked up PowerPoint. We find the PowerPoint, and now everything seems even more gray for some reason. Anyways, Thumb starts yelling at us because we quit without saving. So now we have to play the Bedrock version of the Minecraft parkour dimension.
Thank you, John Deere, for the $1. I'm assuming you got that money from
Exploiting farmers.
breaking the right to repair to act.
Yeah.
Thank you, John Deere. The stream is no longer repairable. Yeah, that's why the chat box wasn't working. It was made by John Deere, and we can't fix it.
Hey.
Thumb gives a speech about the egg of truth cracking, but we don't fret because half of Team Rocket's making the mother of all omelets. And apparently it's so good it sends Thumb into an ICU bed. Half of Team Rocket has finally shattered the piss ceiling and officially become the director of the Federal Bureau of Control 2019 video game. Game over.